And we are now live. What's up, everybody? This is Miko, the entrepreneur, and I am here with Brett and Moran. And you know how we do over here in these streets in the one fat frog fraud streets. You know how we do. So we're going to keep it real. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over a few things today. If you're watching right now, please give it a thumbs up because the more thumbs up we get, it goes to the algorithm and it helps out the algorithm. Please, if you're watching this on replay, please give this live a thumbs up. Also, leave me some comments. Maybe you know someone who bought a food trailer, but not from One Fat Frog. Maybe they bought a food trailer elsewhere. Let me know how their business is going, if it's going well. Do they have any warranty issues? Excuse me. And if you bought a trailer or a food truck from One Fat Frog, and now that they're in bankruptcy, your warranty is ending soon, or you had issues a couple of months or a year ago. They claim that you had a year or two warranty. What are you doing about that? Who's going to fix your food trailer? Who's going to fix your food truck? Leave me those comments. All right. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm Miko, the entrepreneur. Um, I started Dope Beverage, which is my small brand. Now it's closed thanks to One Fat Frog. Uh, I went to I got financed for a food trailer, and now they're in bankruptcy. I know I'm skipping a lot of steps, but I said it in other videos. But we're going to start out, and as we get started, Brett will introduce himself and talk about how he felt, and Mariah will introduce herself and talk about how she felt. Now, we had a hearing today. It was at 10 a.m. And this was the first one that I've been on since that very first one where we had to call in. And it was too many people on it and they couldn't do nothing. This was my first one that I've been on, and through via Zoom. And my impression was I was disappointed. I felt like the state of Florida is not helping us. I felt that when I got on the Zoom, I felt that they did a lot of chit chat until 10:07. They didn't take it seriously. It was hot mic, loose mic, whatever you want to call it. I mean, conversations like you having a conversation with your best friend or your family member. They didn't mute the mics, nothing. They just having conversations like, and it was people on the Zoom. So I couldn't believe that. So 10:07 is started. It wasn't, I'm sorry. We apologize for being late. We apologize for the delay. We ain't getting none of that. None of it. If you're watching right now, please give this a thumbs up. I need your thumbs up because we need to get this to have a lot of thumbs up so more people can watch it. Also, it ended at I think 10:51. So it wasn't even an hour. So from 10:07 to 10:51, and then I'm gonna say this. They didn't think that One Fat Frog did anything wrong. They don't think what they did was a crime. So that leads me to believe that if you have a business in Florida, if you fraud someone, scam, steal their money, it's not a crime in the state of Florida. It's not a crime. They got away with it. So this bankruptcy is bullshit. You know it's bullshit. And you know what? The state of Florida, I promise you, I don't know who gonna do it, but we're gonna do a class action lawsuit against the state of Florida because y'all letting this bullshit happen. And I'm sorry about my mouth, but I'm fucking fed up. I'm tired of y'all letting these people get away with this shit. We over here, we need our money. We need our money. And you allowing these people to get away. This damn ex-husband got 2 other fucking businesses. And he's doing the same damn thing. That's what I don't understand. So the state of Florida, either you in on it, they gave to your campaign. I don't know what y'all fucking like what's going on because it's nowhere in the world over 700 people didn't get their money. And then you're saying that they did nothing wrong. When I heard that, I'm like, I had to look at my phone. They said what they did, stole $18 million. They ain't do nothing wrong.
You are heated right now. I could let me take over for a minute, okay?
Oh my gosh. So hold on, Mariah. So what I'm gonna do is pass the mic to Brett. And
you go to Mariah.
I'm not sorry for what I'm saying. I'm freaking fed up because it's not fair. It's not fair at all. So
trust me, you could go ahead if you want, but I totally understand what you're saying. Literally, I think from day one, the state of Florida have been spitting on our faces and slapping us in our faces, and it's just one thing after another. Connie herself, on the, I think it was the second hearing when they were questioning her, we didn't get this stuff out of our behind. She said they transfer some of the funds to Egypt or India or Egypt. I can't remember, one of those 2 countries. Okay. And she named 3 businesses. I can't remember one of them. I apologize. I am not 100% sure what is the 3rd business, but the first one was Maverick Food Truck and Trailer, or Maverick
Manufacturing.
Yep. Phoenix Food Truck and Trailer. And the other thing is, they know this is a crime. And I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to let them slide. And it's kind of crazy to me how they are saying this is not a crime because they know it's a crime. Bad actors. If I say they have breached the contract, right? That's a crime itself. If I say I'm going to give you something and I have a business and I don't honor it, that's a crime because I can't not just give you the stuff you paid for and just walk away free. The state of Florida, I think, is involved in it somehow, and we're sorry, we're frustrated. We are gonna get a lawyer to not just go after One Fat Frog. Okay, we can't go after One Fat Frog right now because they are under bankruptcy. We're going to go after Connie as soon as we find this lawyer, but we're also going to go after the state of Florida because the state of Florida have allowed this to go on for years, knowing that people are complaining about this company, okay? And the fact that the state of Florida have allowed this to happen only to minorities, that's a crime itself. It's a lawsuit against the state of Florida. So we are frustrated. We're crying out for some help, and they're refusing to help us. Do your damn job. I don't know who we need to cry out to, but I totally understand your frustration, Miko. I totally understand your frustration. I want to cuss so bad right now, but we gotta try to let them know that we're crying out loud. We're crying out loud. Whoever is hearing this, whoever is listening to this right now, the state of Florida has failed us, and they keep just crapping on us. And I don't know why. I don't know what they obviously been griefed, if you know what I'm saying. And I think everybody knows that. But it's time to do the right thing. The ex-husband is in business while we're struggling. If this was, like you said, half white people, they would be after them, not just as criminals. They would be behind bars already. It wouldn't even be happening to half of us. It would take one or two victims. There's 700 victims. Why? Not just Connie, the state of Florida has some explaining to do. I think they're trying to brush it under the rug so they don't take accountability. So not just one fat frog. I think the state of Florida. I think I've been saying that from day one. The reason why everything has happened to the way it has happened is because we had a feeling, not just Connie, the state of Florida was shady.
Today was actually I want to say this. I've sat in or listened to been on a Zoom call for a few of the hearings, and like each time is kind of like kind of just feel as if like they wasted my time. I
Yeah.
was like, I sat there and got no answers. Only thing we got was excuses and stuff. And it's kind of like the same thing today because even at the end of it, kind of just sitting there like, okay, now luckily, I'm actually on leave right now, so I'm at home, and really didn't, I already put that on my schedule. But like, what if I had taken off work, just so that I could, have the free time, so that I can, listen into that. I mean, I pretty much would have like wasted like an entire day and stuff because or wasted like an entire day leave and stuff because I mean the stuff that they spoke about was I mean kind of irrelevant. I mean like they're only thing that they're doing is asking that hey, we need more time. Y'all filed for bankruptcy over well, just about a year ago. um Now they, did say that they made, a little bit of progress and that, but I still think it's a little funny that it was like, it's not like somebody just, walked out of their business with, 18 million, but, it happened over time. And I'm actually in a college class right now, and it's, pretty much, just talking about, production management and stuff. And I just think it's funny that nobody caught this at any point in time. Like nobody caught this error. Nobody caught it like, hey, well, this employee is getting paid, X amount of dollars and, they haven't worked or whatnot. Like, how was whoever like the lead was, who was, in charge of, pretty much production, just, payrolls and like, whoever that person is, like, they have some explaining to do because I just think it's quite hilarious that, nobody caught this. I mean, I check my bank account on a daily, and even when me and my wife were doing like her little small business and stuff, like I'm gonna notice if $15 is like I'm gonna notice if we short. I'm gonna notice if we're like hey, we are we missing a little bit of product and stuff. And I'm not even doing that on a grand scale. So the fact that, this big company, allow that to happen is just crazy to me. Um, but one thing I can say, I do think the judge is on our side because each time that they were just hey well we need more time this or pretty much just kind of whining and stuff, like the judge kind of just looked at him and like well, like there are like like 700 creditors and stuff who are waiting, so boo hoo for you, but they kind of trump y'all, so y'all need to kind of get us together and figure out what we are going to be doing. And she was asking some actually legitimate questions and stuff when I guess the trustee for One Fat Frog, he was like, where, just like I said, it wasn't like, one person walked out. It was, gradually. Well, she was like, well, you said it happened gradually over time. Did it come up to 18 million? Like, what is the actual amount of money that you are claiming that is missing? Because, all those should add up. So I do think that she is going to get to or she is going to keep them on track. I am curious about what's going to happen on this July 22nd hearing. I'm hoping that we're not just waiting another 2 months just for nothing. And I mean, another thing that I would like to know, like, what repercussions is Connie on? Like, yeah, her business went bankrupt. She lost all her assets, or I mean, she should lose all her assets and stuff. But like, if one of us were to walk into a store right now, take something and just leave, what's gonna happen? Police gonna get called. We going to jail. We that could possibly, like ruin, ruin our lives as far as like, whatever job you have. I know if I was to do that, okay, well, there goes my military career. There goes like, the last 18 years pretty much down the drain because, I decided to, walk in the store and, steal a bag of chips and stuff. And like, this is like, like some small things that would, impact our future. She didn't just, impacted, the futures of like 700 people and stuff. Like how is she being held accountable for this? Because I mean, whether she mismanaged it, mismanaged the money or not, you still stole from us. That is by definition theft. We gave you something, and to get a product, we were exchanging, and you didn't uphold your end of the bargain. The fact that you can't give us our money back, if you give my money back or you give us all our money back, no harm, no foul. Now, notice that's not possible and stuff. So, what is going to happen? Because to me, like her ex-husband, especially if they going back, they checking the books and stuff. And ex-husband said that he walked away from the company, let's say in 2021 and stuff. If you have orders from whenever he was, the lead dog there, or he was in charge, okay, well, y'all need to include him as well. Like, yeah, you're not working there, you weren't working there whenever they filed the bankruptcy, but everything wasn't all hunky dory, whenever you were there too. So you got some explaining to do as well. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. But we need more people to pretty much log into these hearings and stuff, and they can see that hey, we mean business and stuff. Because like one person on the street yelling, I mean, it's gonna get the attention of like a few people and stuff. But when you have a group, when you have 700 people out there saying the same thing, okay, well, some other people gonna need to, are going to be forced to listen, because I mean, I could be lying, but it's no way in the world that, me and, 699 other people are, lying about the same exact thing. So the more people that, that start coming on, or, that start showing up, that starts, speaking out, to me, like, I think that'll kind of, move things on, because yes, to me, Florida failed us. Um, how they got away with this, I don't know. But if you were paying attention during the hearing, you see the cops, they got whatever food, like, I don't know when they placed their order, but they made sure the cops got theirs. So, you know, it's like, as long as, they were, getting their stuff, well, bump everybody else.
Yep, and that's a good point you brought up. As long as they take care of theirs and leave us behind, and that's just it. Even today at the hearing, that's just a good example. They're talking about their time. Well, they don't give a damn about our time. I speak for everybody when I say we've lost so much, so much. Not just money, but our time will never get back. And I know I don't understand the law because I'm not a lawyer. I'm nothing. But why do we have to pay for them? Don't they work for the state? That's another thing that nobody's asking question on. Why do they have to get paid on the money that they collect off the asset? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
No asking questions. The judge, yeah, I agree. The judge is on our. It seems like she was on our side today.
Yeah.
Another thing that I never understand, they never asked, does anybody have a question that is online? Because these people, these are people that are victims. These are people that are taking time off their day. Like, we have jobs, we have kids, we have, like, I actually missed a very important meeting to be at this hearing today. And I was hoping to have an opportunity to ask questions. They didn't give us that chance.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, especially that first one that Miko was talking about back in July. Like, that one was just, I mean, it was poorly organized and stuff. I mean, you got, people on there just logging on and, not muting and stuff. And I think that kind of, that kind of just ruined it. But they should make it where, like, okay, just like I said, like the next one is July 22nd. They should have like a time period and stuff where, like, hey, okay, so from, let's say these 2 weeks right here, any creditors got any questions that they want to be asked during that date, file that, here are the procedures, filing that, so that, that we can get that asked, or pretty much they can, you can send in a request and stuff, and, hey, after, all this they, done talking about, whatever, you know stuff they're talking about, they can open up the floor for us to, address the trustees.
I feel like we're not even acknowledged. I hope you guys feel like you've been acknowledged, because, like, I feel like none of the victims have been acknowledged, but that could be my feelings.
Oh, no, I feel similar.
Okay.
Yeah,
How?
you know how I feel. Like, I was actually working while I was listening, and I'm thinking to myself, like, so what are they talking about? Like, what's going to happen? Like, Connie wasn't even there. And I thought that was kind of weird because, like, it involves her. The husband wasn't there. Like, they don't have to show up? I mean, this is part of their company. But still, like, after all these hearings that they had so far, my thing is they had 3 creditors that they were going to pay out. I don't even think they mentioned any of like the payouts when they were going to pay them out. They didn't mention none of that. That's what I thought they were going to talk about, like the 3 creditors that they had on the list. So are you just putting stuff on a list to make it seem like you're going to talk about that, but then you're really not, because you want to have it on paper that you're doing your job? That's what I don't understand. Also, what I don't understand is, Mariah, you said it was 23 people that logged on. 23 people, and it's over 700 victims.
And just to let you know, the 23 people, that is including some of the employees that work for the state.
The only way, the only way that we can make changes, we have to, now you can't, because I know, I know in past lives that I've done, I talked about how you need to share your story and speak up. But now it's like where do we go from here? Because you have to realize that out of all the people I reached out regarding lawyers, no one in the state of Florida does consumer protection. And I'm like, nobody? Like, that is kind of weird to me. Not even a pro bono. These people, they do not handle consumer protection cases. I just find that odd. I find that no one would help us. I shouldn't have to go out of my state to try to get someone to help me. Why the state I live in cannot assist me? I don't understand that. But if I was white, and I hate to keep saying that, but if I was a different race, non-black, I guarantee you, we'll probably be on the news. We'll probably, we'll get more coverage. But because we're minorities, it's people they know that won't speak because they don't speak English. And they're easily threatened. So it makes us 3 or 4 people seem like, it's not a big deal. I haven't heard anything.
No.
Just like with, hold on for a second, just like with, James, the new attorney general. Like, I filed my my complaint. Did everyone else in the group, do it? And that's the thing. Did you sign the petition? You have to sign both of those petitions. We have to do our work. And regardless if you got your money back or you move forward, we need to continue to move in a way where we have to make noise and change laws in the state of Florida so no one else in the future will have to go through this.
Now, I can say, as far as like not that many people being on, like, unless y'all, or if it wasn't for y'all putting it on like the Facebook page, I would have knew nothing about the hearing today. I know, like, the last piece of mail that I got regarding the bankruptcy was for the one back in July, like the initial one. Now, I don't know if I need to, pretty much get in contact with, I guess, like, whatever state representative or like whoever is representing them, like the bankruptcy court. If I need to get in contact with like that trustee, that lawyer and stuff. But that's the last time that I received any any bit of mail. And I mean, if it wasn't for y'all actually sharing it on the page, yeah, I would know nothing about it.
And I think that's another thing too that makes it very hard, and that's how they've been getting away with it. The information that is out there is so limited, and as a small business, we're so eager to get to that point where we forget all to dig into the little information. We just want to get to that, like when I was ready to get this food truck, I wasn't worried about anything else except getting that food truck. I did not sign up for all of this, and I know nobody else signed up for none of this. And what we wanted was a food truck, and that's it. And I think a lot of people, what they have done is like, we'd rather just move on and forget about this, because this has been the most difficult thing that I've ever had to deal with. I think a lot of people have felt that way. It's just too much headache, and it's like the state of Florida don't even care. They don't care, honestly, because how simple is it to send the victims an automatic notification to say, hey, there's hearing at this day, please show up, sign up, register. They're not even doing that. I don't know what exactly they're doing, and we're paying them. Why do I have to pay them to do this? And I'm the victim. I don't understand. I don't understand you guys' state, because I live in South Dakota, but it just makes no sense. It makes absolute no sense. I I honestly almost want to go to school to become a lawyer so I could take the state of Florida down. And some of my friends tell me, they're like, go for it. Somebody's got to do it. We've heard of this before. Like, we have seen it before, where somebody don't get help and they have to get it done themselves. Do we have to do it ourselves? We have to represent ourselves. Is there not a lawyer? Is our money not good enough for a lawyer? What do we need to do?
I don't know, but let me just say this while it's on my mind. So I know that, and Brett, I haven't received anything in the mail from them either. I just feel like just even the process of trying to register is even difficult, because I couldn't do it. I had to get someone else to help me to do it. And it was weird because I'm like, okay, well, maybe because it was on my phone, I couldn't register. But then when I went to the computer, it was the same way. I couldn't register. And it's not clear, it's not like clear cut, because it says 8 a.m.
Yeah.
But it happened at 10 a.m. And I'm like, is it Eastern Standard Time? Even though it says 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm like, well, and then when I heard it was 10 a.m., that's kind of confusing, because if I put the link out, right, and told people to go and register, they would have said, well, it says 8 a.m. Well, maybe that's not the right one. And then they would have clicked off, and then they probably wouldn't have registered, because that's what they want you to do. They want less people there because they know they BS it. They know this is a bunch of BS. So the less people that they have, they figure, oh, well, we're not going to remind you. You need to figure it out. It's like you're going through like this, how can I say? Like you're going through a maze. You know how you go through a maze and you trying to get out, or you trying to get in? That's how I feel like. Like, it's not clear. It's not user friendly. it's like a bit of a challenge. And they know that if people, and most of the people, they don't read English and they don't have it in Spanish. So if they go to the website, you send them to the website, they gonna click, they ain't gonna do it.
Yep. Yeah, because that did confuse me. Now I just went on and because I saw the 8 o'clock, so I was just, hey, maybe they got the time wrong and stuff. And I actually got up at 8, and like I logged on, didn't see anybody was there. I think I waited there like 10 minutes and stuff. Like, okay, well, it must be at 10 o'clock, and that's why I shot you that message. Because when I initially got on, the judge wasn't there. And like, I'm just hearing them talking about like the most, irrelevant stuff. And which I kind of do believe that, was unprofessional and stuff. Like if, you just want to go ahead and start it, but you're like pretty much open it up that way people can go ahead and get logged on, put mute, hey, put like a little sign up like, hey, hasn't started yet. But just listening to them, like, just joking and stuff. Like, yeah, y'all do realize that, a lot of us here have lost like, tens of thousands of dollars.
Did you hear what
And
they were talking about?
yeah,
Okay.
just I'm like, that is completely, and like I kind of almost like unmuted my microphone, like, could y'all please like mute y'all's conversation and stuff, because like y'all are really irritating me right now. And it's like y'all aren't taking this seriously.
And all we wanted was a food truck. And they're talking about toys, cars,
So
food provide for our freaking kids. And they're talking about nice cars and how cheap it is and whatever.
Nonsense, basically.
I just have to say this quick, and I have to get my kids home. I just have to say that I think I met a lot of the victims, and we're a believer of God, and God does not like ugly. Trust me, you cannot do people wrong and expect to live a good life. We will be okay one way or another. Whether we get our money back or not, we're gonna be okay. But they're literally spitting on our face, and I hope somebody comes through and help us. There's got to be a lawyer. We're literally bugging for somebody. I don't know who this video is going to reach out. I'm hoping it will reach out to somebody that could possibly take an action lawsuit against the state of Florida, not to make us rich, but to make us whole. I don't think I could ever be whole because they've lost part of me. Part of me is gone. I will never be whole. But I'm hoping some of us will get something back, because our reputation, like I still have a loan through my state that I'm still trying to pay off. And these people are literally, this is not fair. And I don't know how I got involved with this whole thing, but I am hoping somebody will help us. Please,
yeah,
somebody help us. I cannot believe 2025, we have to bug like we're less than a human for somebody to help us. I am just, maybe there is a reason why we're here right now. I know there is. I know there is. But we want to make sure nobody else goes through this. We need to change things. We have to change things so our kids, our grandkids don't go through this. Somebody else don't go. I don't know why we were involved in this whole thing because you know what? If we were not involved, Connie would still be doing this, and the state of Florida would still let her continue to do this. So please, somebody help us. And I will log back in a little bit, okay? It will be about 20 minutes, guys.
Okay. All right. See you later. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and play the two videos because I have to realize that when new people watch these lives, it's not the same people all the time. So it's going to be new people watching this. And these two videos that I usually play, they have to, they'll have a better understanding of what we're going
Yeah.
through.
Backstory.
So give me one moment. Let me just, and if you want to, while I'm queuing up the videos, Brett, if you want to talk about something, you can.
Nah, we pretty much hit everything, especially about the hearing today. You know, just really disappointed. And I think I was trying to actually get the name of the person that that I need to reach out to get on this mailing list because okay, I can hold.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to get on the mailing list and stuff because I'm out of the loop and just like I said, like had y'all not posted in the group what time it was, because I think even when I was looking at it, it was like put the case number and stuff. I had to dig back through my emails to actually get the case number because I haven't been getting any updates or any upcoming hearings, and to me I just think that is I think that's foul. If we were listed as a creditor on the initial bankruptcy, to me we should still be receiving stuff. I shouldn't have to do extra stuff for you to continue sending me something, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the two videos. Give me 1 second.
Be the largest food truck manufacturer in the United States.
And consumers turned to Action 9, paid one fat frog thousands and thousands of dollars, but claim the company has failed to
Can you
deliver
hear,
their
Brett?
food trailers as
Yeah, I
promised.
hear.
Consumer investigator Jeff Deal confronted company leaders and learned about financial issues that may be plaguing the company.
Hello, you're watching Cooking with Kendra.
Cooking is life for Kendra Brewster and her fiance Moyadeen Alou.
We always have friends over. We cook for them. Cooking was just, I don't know. I guess it's our love language.
Last year, when the couple decided to take their New Orleans Nigerian fusion cuisine to the community with a food trailer, they turned to One Fat Frog, an Orlando company that bills itself as the nation's largest food truck manufacturer.
The way they spoke to us, everything, the customer service, it just seemed amazing.
But after paying $40,000 and with an estimated build and delivery time of 16 weeks, Moyadeen, now nearly a year later, believes they are anything but amazing.
So you paid $40,000 and you have no trailer.
No trailer, nothing.
And he's not the only one. We saw similar complaints online. And One Fat Frog has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. And the company's been sued a dozen times in the past year with creditors wanting money or customers claiming they haven't received their mobile kitchens, including Michelle Costello.
I lost a whole year. And eventually I closed my business as of December 31st.
She expected her trailer in May and is still waiting. We went to One Fat Frog for answers.
This gentleman right here, Moyadeen Alou, he said he paid $40,000. He was promised a trailer in July. He's 6 months later, after the promised date. And
So let's go off camera. I'll walk you around. We'll talk about him and everybody else.
Off camera, the company told us supply chain issues coming out of COVID continue to impact build times, and the estimated delivery dates and contracts are just that, estimate. Operations manager Frank Connell also offered this apology.
I feel sorry that we're not able to perform like we intended to do with everything that's happening with the economy, with the structure of getting the materials in.
Court records show the company president Connie Bacher and her husband, former CEO Amin Hassanian, are getting a divorce. Frank Connell told us there are also money issues tied up in the legal battle and pointed the finger at Hassanian, claiming he misdirected company funds.
I would say it's having a slight impact, but it's not to the point where it's destroying us.
Hassanian told us over the phone that's not true. He never misdirected any money from the company. And remember this guy?
hey, Jeff Deal with Channel 9.
How you doing?
His name is Thomas Sadaka, the of compliance. He's a former statewide prosecutor and private attorney who was disbarred after he was accused of stealing more than $200,000 from a law firm in Orlando and for practicing law while under suspension. In 2018, Sadaka pleaded no contest, second-degree theft, and adjudication was withheld. He just got off probation in December, but no matter who's working there and what the financial conditions are like, Michelle Costello and Milo just their money and to move on with their lives.
Now, the company claims that money is the reason and offering refunds from a Sadako, and people shouldn't have any concerns about his involvement with the company. Reporting the video, Jeff Deal, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me remove this. I'm going to go ahead and add the other one. Play that one. Give me a second. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this on replay, please give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Okay, give me a second.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. Fox 35 investigates a food truck fight. We've told you about how people have spent their life saving on food trucks that were never built by manufacturer One Fat Frog. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger finally got the chance to speak face to face with the former CEO of that company, now under investigation by the FBI and Attorney General. Hundreds of families without their trucks and without their deposits of up to $50.
I got a tip that Amin Hassanian, the former CEO of One Fat Frog, was at a restaurant convention in Orlando heading a new company in the exact same industry.
I was looking for Amin. Is he here?
Oh, yeah, he's right there. That's when we were finally able to speak up for people who've been demanding answers.
700 families who put their life savings into this, into what was once your company, and now they're left, a few of them, homeless.
And I really feel bad for these people. I wish I can offer any kind of help to them, but I am in the same position.
Fox 35 has been reporting on this situation for nearly a year. This is the first time we've spoken to the former CEO face to face.
I'm wondering how you wound up here and what's happening with people whose money was lost.
When One Fat Frog closed earlier this year, they owed $18 million. The bankruptcy trustee handling One Fat Frog's case believes $12 million associated with One Fat Frog was brought overseas. Hassanian told me he left the company in November of 2022. When we asked about that, he said at that time,
Everything was good. We were doing amazing.
he says he doesn't know a thing about the bankruptcy or what led to it. In research from my previous reporting, Fox 35 has found documentation that shows a history of finance issues.
You did already have some problems with a couple of loans prior to 2022. By that point, there were already delays happening.
I was behind in 108 trailers, but with none of them was a year. They were not with banks or anything before I left.
There were, in fact, a lot of issues with banks and things before he left, and multiple year-long delays. In my research, I found dozens of filed lawsuits, some still pending with varying outcomes. Others have ongoing litigation.
People put the deposit down to pay for their trailer, the start of their trailer. But if they weren't being built, where does that money go?
I think you need to ask Connie about that.
Connie Bauer is Hassanian's ex-wife, who became the sole owner and shareholder of One Fat Frog after Hassanian left. She is cooperating with investigators. I've been reaching out to her since June, and she's repeatedly declined to interview, but has repeatedly pointed blame at Hassanian.
I am one of the victims of One Fat Frog. I lost the house, I lost the company, I lost everything more than anybody else.
Documents show Amex has filed 2 lawsuits against Hassanian for more than $1.25 million on credit cards he says were used on expenses from One Fat Frog. Hassanian is suing his ex-wife for those charges. And in the meantime, he's the agent for 2 new companies, Phoenix Food Trucks and Maverick Manufacturers, which makes pizza ovens and walk-in coolers.
Where did that money come from? To open Phoenix?
I didn't take any money from One Fat Frog and open Phoenix Food Trucks with it. It absolutely has nothing to do with each other.
Hassanian got those companies licensed in January of 2023, 3 months after he left One Fat Frog. Court records show one of those companies, Maverick, was already getting sued by a company in North Carolina that August. Maverick and Phoenix are both named in lawsuits in Orange County from this past summer.
I can show bank statements. I'm willing to show everything. I don't have anything.
Asking for those documents, Hassanian declined. The Attorney General's office told me their investigation into One Fat Frog is ongoing. The investigation is led by a division that handles law relating to the Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. A filing with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Middle District of Florida says litigation is expected to start this month. Marie Ettinger, Fox 35 News.
And we are diving deeper now with Fox 35's Marie Ettinger. And Marie, I'm very curious about this this confrontation at this convention. Kind of take us behind the curtain and what that was like, finally getting to speak with this man face to face, because you had done several stories on this before now.
So it was a little strange. One thing about it was that we're having this interaction, and there was this moment where he said, and you saw in that story, everything was fine while he was there, and he has no idea about the bankruptcy or what would have led to it, and everything was A+ in 2022 before he left. And I'm telling him, I know that isn't true, and I'm trying to detail and explain, there's all these court records like I showed in that story, and he was just kind of discounting it. And so that was one of the strange things. He was nice, he was friendly, he or avoid the interview. He seemed a little bit surprised, but he was at that particular convention representing his new. Somebody had seen Maverick and seen Amin Hassanian at the convention, and they let me
technology
get in touch with people leading the convention. That's how he got in order to talk with him. So he did come right over, and he provided answers to my questions. It's just that they weren't entirely truthful, it seems.
And this is a saga that still is not over.
No. So I am actually working on another story right now. What's crazy about with One Fat Frog and with the court case, they are in court already at this point. They had their second a preliminary hearing earlier this week. And so it's this thing that's been building for years now. We first found out about it around my first aired in February of this year. We're talking for around a year, and it's all culminating with now, Cindy. So I was able to also talk with the bankruptcy attorney who I had spoken with about what's happening now with the investigation and how things are playing out in court. And he says that there are a few things that are going to be moved along. He actually also want me to mention, I'm going to go ahead and put this out. If you believe you were a victim of One Fat Frog, or if you paid for a food truck or food trailer that was never delivered to you, the deadline to submit for that claim has been extended to mid-January. So if you still have time. And then I was also able to talk with some former employees of Frog that'll be incorporated in the next story. I'm pretty excited for that as well. And then some more updates from the bankruptcy attorney.
So this has just been a long path for these victims. I think we've talked about it before, and still necessarily not much of a resolution in sight for them. The
Last update in my previous reporting, we do have a change in numbers, but it's not a particularly happy one, is and I mean, that's the heartbreaker about all this, is all these people put down, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and they're, so far as we can tell, just not going to get that money back. The way things work with their contracts, the majority of them, is that people would put down about half of the money, half of their total payment. That money was supposed to go to pay for the actual parts to build their food trucks or food trailers. And then throughout the process, and as the trailer is being completed, they start paying more. But that down payment is to pay for the trailer itself and the creation of it. One Fat Frog says they don't do refunds because of that, because you're paying for the materials that are going to be used to be making your actual trailer. It's how a lot of people were not able to file lawsuits when they wanted to, around about a year ago or throughout the past few years. And so all this money is just gone. It's just in some abyss. And in trying to get money back, the bankruptcy attorney had to wind up selling off One Fat Frog's remaining assets that they had in their facility. And instead of giving that money back to the customers who lost all their money, it's going to instead pay for litigation against the former owners. So Amin Hassani and the former CEO, his ex-wife, Connie Bauer, the owner and then turned CEO of this company, would be pursuing litigation against them and any other potential bad actors to collect monies. All this is to say, rather than getting $10 back and just get a refund, they'll get some. So it's better than that, but barely.
Wow. So, oh my gosh. Now, you know how when you, okay. This is why it was easy for them to steal. Because if I went in and paid or financed $30,000, if that money was for my trailer only, why not just build my trailer and be done with it? And then you get the next person, right? They come in with the money, they buy it. That money that you collected on the second trailer should be for that trailer.
And that's why I think everything,
person, you know,
everything that they say is just straight up BS, because okay, hey, you know, COVID affected a lot of people. Had that been like, you know, 2021, maybe could have, you know, understood that. But, you know, if you know that, you know, if that is your claim, that, you know, hey, COVID got us all, you know, backed up, you know, why are you still taking orders? Or another thing, have you not amended your contracts to, you know, incorporate that into the build time? Or, because just like you said, like that at first, that initial, you know, half up front is to begin it. So you saying that you're having a hard time getting supplies, you're not having a hard time, like, you know, still collecting my money.
Right.
Because like, you know, if like, you know, a lot of us have, you know, we put the down payment down and we'd have made, you know, like, you know, 2-3 payments, you know, after that. So, you know, therefore, you know, hey, we should go in there and it should be like, you know, hundreds of, like halfway built trailers, and it's not. Okay, you don't have the material, and then like, I don't know about everybody else, but hey, I was calling, like, hey, what's the status of what's the status of the trailer and stuff. And at no point in time did anybody say anything about, hey, we didn't ran into an issue. Like that was never had that conversation. And then like, Hassan, or like, whatever his name is, Thief is what I call him. He said that everything was, good up until he left. That is false, because he said he left in November or October 2022. Well, the food truck that we had purchased, okay, that was supposed to have been done, months prior to him leaving. And he said that everything was good. So you mean to tell me that, let's say everything was good, which we all know that's a lie. So you telling me from November 2022 up until May of 2024, 24 months. And 24 months, like, somehow, some way, that's where all the issues started. Like, I think not, because even when that reporter was asking him, well, you just started 2 new companies, where did that money come from?
Right.
And you see, he dodged that question. He didn't say, well, he automatically like, well, hey, it didn't come from over there. Okay, well, still, where did it come from? Because you're, sitting here, I got divorced. Hey, I lost the house, as you should. You should lose your house, your dog, car, with anything that you own and stuff. And that should be the same thing with Connie. Like, y'all are paying for, litigation against all these other things. Okay, well, force her to sell her car, because, like, I know she got, assets outside of One Fat Frog. Like, whatever house you're staying in. Like, like, all that stuff needs to go. Like, I don't feel sorry for you, nothing and stuff, because there's plenty of there's plenty of other people out here who are homeless or who have lost, life savings that they didn't work their entire life for. So I have no sympathy for you. Like, and I don't wish evil on anybody. Still don't wish evil on her. But if it was to happen, and like, I seen the news report, I really wouldn't care. I'm not gonna shed a tear for you. And like, I'm sorry, that might be mean, that might be hateful and stuff. But for what you have done to hundreds of people, it's just dead wrong. It's just wrong. And she ain't the only one.
Oh my gosh. I just feel like sometimes, like, when I get up in the morning, I just feel like I'm in a bad dream. It's like I'm in a nightmare and I can't wake up. Every time I think about this. And like, I talk on other channels about, like, when I was a ghost kitchen and when I used to have my business in Houston. And then I started getting this thought of, man, they stole my money. And then it's like I had to snap back, because I'm like, that's not this episode. This is not that video. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I thought I was coming back to Orlando to grow my business, and I believe in God. I it, His plan, which we did expose the company, and I mean, it's other things coming. We just don't see it right now, because He's working
Yes.
behind the scenes. Trust me, He's working behind the scenes. That day, whenever that day will happen, that day when it'll all like come out, I just hope that I hope that they get the time served. That's the one thing. And then to pay us our money back. With the lawsuits, like I said, I won the first one. The second one is still pending because everything is paused. But that law needs to be changed as well, where if you win a lawsuit, they shouldn't have to wait. You shouldn't have to wait 20 years, up to 20 years to get paid.
Oh no.
20 years? Like when I heard that, I'm like, what? I just feel like, and don't get me wrong, because I can move, but that's not going to solve the issue here in the state of Florida. But my thing is like, hold on, here comes Maran. I just feel like something has to change. And I don't care if, like right now, small claims is $8,000. It needs to be up to 20,000, like Texas. If you file a small claims in Texas, it's up to 20,000. That needs to be changed. These, like, I don't know anything about law, but I think there should be pro bono cases taken to help consumer protections. We need consumer protection laws. It should not be easy for people to just steal, fraud, scam, and get away with it. And then, I'm gonna file bankruptcy because that's the thing to do in Florida. No, it shouldn't be like that. Go ahead, Brett.
And like, I think that there are lawyers because just like I said, when me and my wife, we initially were like, hey, let's go the legal route, try to get our money back because they've breached that contract. And there was a lawyer in Florida. As a matter of fact, I think I think he might have been actually in the Tampa area, who was taking my case pro bono. But then once they actually filed bankruptcy, that's not his specialty. So he told me that he was supposed to be, talking with a colleague to kind of see what we're doing now. It seems to me that his colleague pretty much told him, like, hey, bro, like it's a losing battle because I ain't heard from him since. And I think I might try to reach out to the lawyer that I spoke to on base because once they figured out about it, they got me in contact with, I think, somebody in Veteran Affairs, and they were actually the ones who, kind of, shot or steered me over to, to that lawyer's, steered me over there because, I mean, hey, something needs to be done. Laws need to be changed. I think that even it needs to be a little bit more than that because even if it was 20,000 and stuff, well, I mean, like a lot of us paid you way more than $20,000 and stuff. Like even if it was $20,000, me and my wife, we would have it was more than that when we put down our half payment. So that still wouldn't help us out, and because even at that point in time when we did decide to get a lawyer, somebody did reach out to us, trying to get us a trailer, but we had to make alterations. And to me, at that point in time, it just seems that it kind of seemed like the ship was going down, and like Ras was jumping ship, and like y'all just trying to get whatever it is, and no, like not gonna do it because I don't trust you. And like once you lose my trust and stuff, especially on something like that, like yeah, we can't. Nah, I'd rather just give my money back and I can go somewhere else. Because I mean, even now, if like let's say we were to get like our money back, I guarantee it, every last one of us and stuff. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, if I was to get my money back, like, hey, I'm going about my business. Like, food truck, like, I never ever would, like, would trust, somebody again. Like that truck or that trailer needs to be right there, has all the specifications without me paying anything. Because, like, happened to me last time. Hey, I can show you the money. The money is right here. Money is right here. Like, we can give it to, like, a third party. Hey, he has the money and stuff. Hey, as soon as you, get me my trailer and, it's to my liking and stuff, then, the money can be swapped over. So, but, I know that's not how it works. So, I mean, like, the chances of, like, us ever attempting to do that again is really slim to none, because it's a hindrance. It's stuff that, it's stuff that I can't do. Yeah, I'm not homeless and stuff, but there are people who are homeless, and, like, it's still, hey, it prevents me from, living my life to the fullest. It's stuff that I can't do because of this. And it's like, my bank don't care, because, I explained to them, like, hey, here's the situation. What options do I have? Because it's not like, you're my bank. You can clearly see that that money is not in my account. Like, what options do I have? And they said, well, the only option you have is to refinance and, possibly, get a lower interest rate, or not a lower interest rate, but a lower monthly payment, which, I mean, really didn't help me out anything at all. So, yeah, it needs to change.
Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the things that I had to go through. I'm gonna wait for Moran to come back on, but so I bought. Speaking of,
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's been a connection problem, so I had to come in.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna talk a little bit, and then I'll let you talk.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
So pretty much what I did, I bought a Nissan Pathfinder to pull the trailer. Now, after I knew I wasn't getting the trailer, I traded that Nissan Pathfinder in for a regular vehicle. And I was so upside down because I just bought that vehicle so I could have it for my business. So not only did they put me, I'm talking about One Fat Frog, put me in a situation where I had to, because why would I keep the vehicle? I'm not going to have my trailer. So now I'm paying a double car payment because I had to swap that out to have the vehicle that I currently have now. So I'm paying for that. Then the 2 credit cards, I put $2,000 for my deposit on 2 different credit cards. I had to close my accounts because they were like, well, you need to pay this. I'm not paying this. You need to remove it. I already went through the dispute process. I already have those videos on my channel. It's in a playlist. So I got to deal with that. Excuse me. Then I'm over here with the 2 lawsuits. I won the first one, and it's up to 20 years for them to pay me. But now that they filed bankruptcy, I'm not going to see that money. And then the second one, I will win, but they have no money to give me. So with all the stuff that I'm going through, just trying to get my life back together has been unfreaking believable. And every time I see like even when I play these videos, I just get so upset because this man is out there free, roaming around, like marketing his businesses.
And her too.
Well, I don't really see her, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't understand it. And it's like, you have to be kidding me. And I don't know what needs to happen or gotta happen, but all I know, regardless if I continue to live in Florida or not, laws need to be changed. So just because I leave and never come back, it's still gonna happen here until they change the laws. But it just baffles me because every day that I wake up, like I said, I feel like I'm in a nightmare. And every time I make my car payment, I scream because I gotta take care of that headache for this headache, and then I gotta go through all this other stuff.
It's a constant reminder.
So Mariah, you can go ahead.
I understand. I know exactly what you mean. I am in the same boat as you. Even though I don't have this $40,000 trailer that I'm supposed to run my business out of, I'm still obligated to fulfill my obligation with the state of South Dakota because they were kind enough to take a chance with me. I've met with my loan officer. I sat down with her. I explained everything to them. They know everything. I think my whole state knows everything about it. They sympathize with me, but I still have to make the payment because. And at first I was like, screw it. You know what? I'm not going to make the payment because you know what? If she did that, I might as well just say screw it and not pay it either and do the same thing. Because you know what? If she could get away with bankruptcy, I might as well bankrupt and do the same thing, you know? But, and I thought about it, I'm not that type of person. I have a reputation. I want to keep my good credit. I'm trying to build a future for my kids. I don't know how I'm going to pay this $50,000 loan. You know how it is when you have a $50,000 loan and you pay for 4 years and you pay $5,000. So I might still have, I don't know exactly how much I've paid already, but I still have quite a bit that I have to pay him. But I'm going to fulfill my obligation with the state of South Dakota because they have fought so hard in behalf of me. But it's just a constant reminder every month. And every day I check on that page. It's a constant reminder. Every time I get a message like today, I haven't shared it yet, but every time somebody message me about their pain, I'm like, I know your pain because I'm going through it. When you have somebody else tell you about their pain and you're also in pain, it's like you feel it double. And you feel hopeless for yourself and talk about how do you help somebody else. I don't know exactly what we have to do. I don't know what the solution. I've never been in a situation like this. I honestly feel sometimes I'm in this situation to see the other side because I always thought this great America where everybody escaped to come to live the American dream. And I thought I was living the American dream until this actually happened. And I'm just like, maybe I know God is not putting me through this, but it feels like God wants me to see something. Honestly. And I don't know if you guys ever read my post. It comes from what I feel. Like, they talk about we don't work hard enough. I've been working since I was 14 years old. This is a Black woman's story. This is our story. And it's like, it hurts so bad to know, like, this is how we've been oppressed for so many years. And I'm like, maybe God want me to see something other than the American dream. Will we come on the other side? Of course we will. We always do. We always do. We're a strong individual, but I don't know why we're going through this. But we have to make sure, because, and then it reminds me, and I'm sorry, I don't know. You could stop me anytime. I don't know. We look at history. It's people like us that makes history. We gotta keep fighting so we don't have other people go through what we are going through right now. It's like, you know, like my son said today, he's like, Mom, you know, you're just a minority. Do you really think people? I'm like, yeah, I really do. I really do think people do care. The people would change things, you know, and that's the mentality that is fed to our kids too, not just to other kids, to our own kids. We have to change that. I don't know how. I don't know where we start, but this whole petition thing, I bug of you guys to go in. I don't know what we have to do. I'm still trying to be a mom. I'm still make sure like my household's still intact, but this have destroyed me to the core. Like, I could feel it. Like, when you're distressed, you could feel it in your body, and like I could feel it in my body. It's in my soul. It hurts bad, but we got to keep fighting. The state of Florida is not going to win. You know what's going to happen? I could almost see the future. They're going to try to shut us out by giving us a little bit something. And I'm not going to take it. And I think Connie knew that I wasn't going to take it. That's why we are here today. That's why we stand still today.
Well, even if like they were to, like, you know, offer a little bit of something, like, you know, you're wrong. You know, like, you know that, you know, you know that what they did was wrong, and you know that, you know, all of us are right, even if you're, you know, trying to, you know, give us, you like, pennies. No, I don't want pennies. You owe me dollars.
Right.
And I mean, like, you know, no matter, like, you know, what, you know, they may think of us, just keep on talking. That they can think, you know, as, you know, much as they want to, you know, oh, you lazy. Well, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. I mean, that's not gonna stop me. As you know, and you ask how do we break that cycle and stuff. I mean, you know, it's we have to be a whole.
Yeah.
So you know, we have to, you know, pass that on to, like, you know, like the younger generations and stuff. Because I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, I feel as if, like, you know, my parents, grandparents, you know, all those who came, you know, before me. That's why, like, you know, that's you know, it's kind of why I carry myself the way that, you know, I do now, because, you know, hey, well, like, they didn't have it this easy. So, like, you know, all the pain and, you know, like, suffering, like, you know, all the hardships and stuff that they had to go through back then. You know, do we still have to go through hardships today? Yes, but it's not to the same degree as, you know, that they had to back then. So they worked hard to get us where we are, you know, today. And, like, to me, it's just, it's on us. It's on our generation to, you know, continue that.
I'm sorry, it's not to the same degree, but this is how they keep us down. If we can't grow, how can we grow? If they keep us down, how can we grow? You know, this is how we're called lazy. This is how we're called. I am forced right now to be on assistant, and I should not be on assistant. Connie is got my money. Where I could be working, my kids could be working. I should not be on government assistant, and I am one of those people. I am so ignorant, you guys. I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. I am so ignorant. I don't want the fucking dollar. Excuse my language. They could shove it up there, you know what? I don't want the dollar. I want justice. I want justice. I want some change so nobody else goes through this. Because the pain, the late night, I've cried so much. You guys have no idea. I know, you know, because you guys are victims. You know what we're going through. So I can't say you don't know. But you have no idea how I dreamed of having something. And the state, you know, I live in South Dakota. I don't know if you know. It's majority white people. I've worked for 25 years to get this loan. You're right. It's not like to the degree where it was. It took them that long to give people like me a chance. I had that chance and Connie stole it. So we need somebody. We need an advocate. We need somebody to advocate for us. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they still see us, the state of Florida still see us as Black people that we don't, apparently we don't have any rights because we can't go to a lawyer and hire a lawyer. Because
right, they don't take these cases.
I guarantee you, if we were a lawyer and we want to do action lawsuit for nothing, we could bring action lawsuit for nothing. I guarantee you, if injustice has happened to white people, you seen that woman that was calling the little boy a whole bunch of names. She raised $256,000 for no reason. We have so much money. We haven't, we're not raising nothing. We don't want to, you know, stuff is still happening. There's no changes sometimes when you think about, they're not being racist out in the open, but the system is still racist as hell. And we got to change those things. You can't call us lazy and we don't grow when you're the one who's holding us back. When there's injustice that is happening to us and you're the law that is not doing nothing about it, where do we go? Do we take matters into our own hands? No, we don't do that, right? So do something about it. The state of Florida needs to do something about it. How do we take this thing to the Supreme Court? I don't know. I've still been looking.
State of Florida, the city of Orlando, like.
Yeah, but if no one would do anything, so let's do it this way because I have probably another 10 minutes. So I think it would be a good idea for these news stations, these local news stations, to grab about 10, 20, maybe 30 of the victims, reach out to us some type of way, and we need to do like a Zoom call or something, and we need to just talk about stuff. It could be aired, whatever. We need that information out there. We need people to vent and get their stories out. I think if we had some type of settings like that, But that's the only thing you have. I get it. They're anchors. They have to stay what's trendy. Not saying they're not, telling the stories, but it's only like this much. You know what I mean? They don't have like us speaking. I think that would be a good opportunity to like shine some light, because if you're on YouTube, right? This is on YouTube, and you were interested in buying a food truck or food trailer, and you came across this information. This would be good information for people to know, so they won't get caught in the same thing. And if you purchase something in Florida, you don't want to be in this situation. Just because this company is doing it doesn't mean this company may or may not do the same thing. So I think that should be a good idea for these local news stations to grab some of us and tell our stories, not what I showcase, like with me and Timmy, but like actually have a Zoom call and do something on a weekly basis. That would be a good project. So Fox 35, CBS 6, ABC, Wesh, CW, whoever listening. I think that would be a good project for you guys to do. It'll probably bring up your ratings because you keep saying the same thing anyway on your nightly news. But anyway, so Brett, I'm gonna go ahead and let you say about 5 minutes or so, close out, and then Moran, you can close it out, and then we'll be done for today.
Idea. I think it was another person on the group, and it's kind of just like you said, like just getting like a handful of us. I mean, if not, it's 700 of us, so I mean, like that kind of be impossible and stuff. But just getting a group of us, telling our story and stuff, because it just kind of gives me the idea, like the I'm trying to remember that show. It was on like Netflix or Hulu and stuff. It was like a special. It was like the Craigslist swindler. It was like this one dude, and he just he swindled millions of dollars out of people and stuff. And like the one person from the group, he was saying that we could possibly try to, that can be a way for us to get our recoup our money back. Now granted, a lot's going to go into that and stuff, and people would have to be willing to like tell a story. But just like you're saying, I mean, that's the only way that's the only way that any of us are going to get like all of our money back, because like this little hearing, like I said, they're gonna give us pennies back when we're owed dollars and stuff. And like I don't believe the news is going to help us out and stuff, because yeah, you saw those 2 reports, but since then, I mean, I could just be wrong. I haven't seen any other news. Haven't seen anything else, any news coverage on it. And I mean, like, it's a fairly big story. I mean, a company steals $18 million from ordinary citizens and stuff, and nobody's like pressuring trying to get answers and stuff. So, but that's my little 2 cents.
I honestly, yeah, it would be nice to get the money back. It definitely would be nice to get the money back. We need change. We need change. We need laws put in so companies like this don't get away with stuff like this. And I think Florida is like, I'm following you guys' news now since my encounter with One Fat Frog, and it's like every other day is somebody is doing something shady. So I think something is going on in the state of Florida. I think they need to change the law. I don't know who needs to do what, but definitely I don't know if this new administration would be the person to do it, but and I'm not politician. I've never been into too much into politics or never been really into anything. I just like to cook. I like to provide for my kids. I've been just taking care of my kids, you know. I don't really get into too much into anything, just into my own business. But this one fat frog have us gotten into, you know, and I'm just hoping somebody would hear our case and wants to take our case, you know. It would be nice to find some help. We got to. I know there is lawyers that will occasionally take cases just because, you know, they want to help people, and we need help. You know, we really need help. We need to get to the bottom of this. Connie herself has said they send the money to a different country. I don't know if that's not a crime. I don't know what is. If you tell me I'm purchasing something and you take my money and you don't give it to me, I don't know what is. If that's not a crime, I don't know what is. You know, I really do not understand anything. And we need the state of Florida to take us a little bit serious, because we're just sick of it. We're tired, you know. Well, they're breaking the camel's back. No, we're just tired. Our time has got to count for something.
Yeah, you're all right.
We need to be acknowledged as people, because we are people. We're the one who gets up every day, go to work, pay taxes, and do the right thing. We're not out here scamming people, doing shady stuff. You know, it's enough is enough. That's all I want to say.
All right. So thank you guys for the ones who've been watching. And if you're watching this on replay, again, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from. And if you come up with any other topics that we should be talking about, please leave that in the comments below as well. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting us by watching these videos and watching us live. And we'll see you next time.